Josh Hartnett will be talking about his new thriller from the director of The Sixth Sense, and Alan Cumming tells us what it's like to host a US version of The Traitors.
Right then, time to say hello to our next guest. Please welcome Josh Hartnett and Alan Cumming. Hello, both. Hello, what a treat for a Monday. Now then, Alan,
Yes.
Traitors US version.
Yes.
Amazing, super popular. But we've had lots and lots of emails in already. And people want to know, is Lala coming back for the next series?
Yes, she is actually. Lala, there she is. She's my dog.
There's Lala, Josh.
And she actually, the world spoke. The world wanted more Lala, and so she is actually in the season we just shot. A series we just shot. She's in it a lot more.
Good.
Yeah, she's in a much more sort of
The people
pivotal
will be
role.
happy.
Yeah. And see, Lala's got some lovely outfits, but Joan says, love your eccentric style. We never know what fantastic outfit you'll be wearing, and I have to say, they are brilliant. How much say, look at this now, Josh, right?
Ridiculous.
This is the kind of
That's
thing,
hilarious.
this is what Alan brings to the Traitors party.
That's not me. That was Barbara. But hello, yes, there's a lot going on there.
Is this
lot of
you? Do you
berets.
have a brilliant
Yes.
stylist? What's
Well, there's a great stylist who's called
backstory?
Sam Spector, and I mean, it's sort of a combo. Like, I went to him and saying I wanted to look like this dandy Scottish laird. That was my sort of brief to him, and then he kind of took it and ran
He's
with
hit
it.
that brief.
Yeah, big time.
You
And
carry
then now
it.
it gets bigger. You know, each we have to sort of keep topping ourselves. You should see the new series.
You carry it well, though.
I can't
You
wait.
know,
You gotta have that
you can be as
confidence,
big
don't
as you
you?
like, as long as you mean it.
I like
That's
it.
what
I
I
like it. You've done so much in your career, Alan. It all began at the end of Edinburgh Fringe, 1984. Comedy double act, Victor and Barry, and that is
Yes.
something you are incredibly proud of, isn't it? That kind of
Totally. So much so that we have a book out about the fact it's 40 years. Oh, there we are. Look at us. It's 40 years since we first appeared at the Edinburgh Fringe.
It's unbelievable, isn't it?
And it's like, it's my friend Forbes Masson, and we, oh my God, these photos are hilarious. And we did, it's like a skit we made up for a drama school cabaret in our first term of drama school. I was 17, he was 19. And then a few years later, we were like, it suddenly exploded, and we had our own shows and everything in Scotland and on TV and everything. So this book, when we realised it's 40 years, we did this book looking back and found a lot of old material, and it's like a scrapbook.
But I was going to say, it's kind of like an annual.
That's exactly what we wanted it to be like.
You know,
Alex, yeah.
those annuals that you have,
Yeah.
and there's all sorts of like song lyrics in
Yeah.
there. Like it's only short of a crossword.
No, there's no close.
It's got
There are like
loads of stuff, like scripts.
Yes, my
and-
husband drew our little dolls. You can cut out the costumes and put on
love
it.
it.
Yeah, I love it too. I'm really proud of it, and it's also such a lovely thing to sort of, as a mark of our sort of friendship and our, you know, the way we work together and sort of being such old friends. It's
And
really
there's gonna
lovely.
be a live show, I hear, around
We're
the
doing
book,
a couple
or-
of, booky. We're actually going to sing a couple of songs, but it's sort of book things. One in the concert hall in Glasgow on the 8th of August, and one in the Edinburgh Book Festival on the 10th. So yeah, but we're not like full back on. It's just sort of us little teasers
Very nice.
to discuss the book.
Josh, on the Edinburgh Fringe, you've been there yourself, haven't you? How did you find it?
My wife took me there on one
Yeah.
of our first dates.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Enjoy
we had
it?
a wonderful,
Brilliant
we had a
first
wonderful time.
date.
Yeah, it was a great first date.
Yeah.
And then we drove across Scotland and ended up in the Isle of Skye for like the only, I guess, warm summer that Skye's ever had. It was gorgeous. I was like, this is the most beautiful place on earth. She was like, just wait. Yeah. Got very wet.
Yeah, the weather changes.
Oh, nice.
I always feel if you don't get rain in Scotland, you haven't really had the true experience.
Yeah,
Do you know what I
I
mean?
agree.
I sort of feel people are cheated when it's just sunny.
Yes.
I like it when it's
But when
rainy.
it is sunny,
Stunning.
beautiful.
Nothing beats it.
Beautiful.
Mandy's been in touch. She says, I remember Alan in The High Life.
Oh.
The funniest comedy set on an aeroplane.
Oh, there we
I'd
are.
love the show to come back again. There
Well,
you are.
Mandy, look at my hair. I mean, just look at that, the back combing in that. Look at that.
The amount of L-net in that,
There was
Alan.
actually a hole in the ozone layer right above me because of that. We're doing, that's another, one of the kind of things that's come out of doing this book, Forbes and I. We are doing a musical of it, along with our friend Johnny McKnight's helping us write it for the National Theatre of Scotland. So we're doing it's practically a musical already, this show.
Oh.
We're doing it as a theatre musical in 2026. Oh.
Mandy's
So
going to be
it's Mandy.
absolutely thrilled to
Gird your
see that.
loins, Mandy. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Amazing.
Well, Alan's book, Victor and Barry's Kelvin Side Compendium, brilliant title, is out on the 25th of July, and you can watch all episodes of The Traitors US on iPlayer.
Right, in just a moment, we'll be speaking to Josh about his brand new thriller, Trap. But before he talks to us about it, let's set the scene.
Hey, I gotta go to the bathroom. I can leave you here in the seat.
I'm good, Dad.
Right? Hi. Cooper. Jamie. What's with all the police trucks outside? Cameras everywhere, Jamie. I'm not supposed to tell.
He's not
So
long
it's a mystery thriller, this, Josh.
Yes.
It's directed by M. Night Shyamalan, who directed Sixth Sense, that's right, yeah. Without giving away, obviously, too much, because you've left us on a bit of a cliffhanger there. You know, what can you tease us with that we can look forward to?
Well, what I love about the film is that it's an original in, I think, a sea of, there's a lot of sequels out in the summertime, and it's really nice to have somebody like M. Night Shyamalan coming up with, I think, original stories that have kind of interesting twists in them, a lot of kind of fun, unexpected moments, and characters that you haven't seen before. And so, like, this character is very, very different for me, and I think for audiences generally. I haven't seen a character like this in a while on screen, so
Yeah.
exciting.
See, I mean, Pearl Harbor, I
Right?
love.
Oh, yes.
But you've played
You'll love this.
Yeah.
Right down the middle.
But I was going to say, you've played lots of heroes. Was it quite nice to do something like that is the complete opposite and play somebody really dark?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's always fun to play the bad
Oh,
guy.
baddies are the best.
Yeah, especially a fun baddie. Like
Yeah.
this is not
Straightforward.
Yes, it's tongue in cheek, and there's a lot to play with here, and the fact that he's a father taking his daughter to a concert. He has a lot of lights and darks, and they're both very extreme. And I kept calling it, Technicolor. Like the character was very neon. It was all over the place, and
I love that.
that's fun to work with somebody who wants you to play with lots of different colors.
Why is it more fun to be a baddie? Is it like you've got more freedom as an actor to kind of play with the role, or is it just because it's just so far away from being who you actually are?
Yeah, well, I think it's partially that you have freedom, and partially that you kind of you don't get to use those tools very often as an actor. So like being able to kind of dive into something that's outside of the norm for yourself is also interesting.
It's more like playing, isn't it?
Yeah,
Right.
it's more like playing for sure.
And also, baddies always get the best lines.
They do. Yeah.
Yeah, that's one just before they. Is it right that this was actually a real life operation and then obviously was turned into a film? It was inspired by something.
To an extent.
Okay.
It wasn't to catch a serial killer. It was there were a series of people who'd done some pretty bad things. They were felons or like wanted felons in the States. And this was in like the early 80s in Washington, D.C. And they set up this sting operation basically saying they could have free tickets to this football game and then possibly get to the Super Bowl if they came to this convention center at this time. And there were cops dressed up like cheerleaders and cops dressed up like, people like mascots from the team. And everybody came to collect their tickets, and they all got arrested. And Knight thought it was the most hilarious thing ever, so he decided to write the script.
That's hilarious.
It is funny, yeah.
And you've said that working with the director M. Night is one of the greatest things that you've done, career-wise.
Yeah, no, I love working with original filmmakers who write their own scripts. He produces his own films. He directs and writes, and he also funds his own films. So he is the only authority on set, so I get to talk to him. Yeah. All the answers are there. We can change things if we need to. It's a luxury. It rarely happens,
so there's no studio. I mean, he sells it to a studio once he's made it.
Yeah.
God,
and he's been doing this for the last like 10 years or so, and it's been really successful. And it's unusual. And every once in a while, you get to work with directors in our industry that have that sort of clout within the studio system, but it's very rare. And when you have that, it just adds to this sense of freedom that we were talking about before.
And when you have his name on it, you're going to get something special. I mean, we'll give a bit of backstage insight, but normally we are sent the films and they say watch them in advance. But this one, they're like, no. Don't let them watch it because they want to keep it secretive.
Or is it one of those ones like Psycho where
there's
there's a thing you mustn't tell?
Well, it's not. There's a lot you mustn't tell.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right.
No.
Josh, in that clip there, we just saw kind of your character with your on-screen daughter.
Yes.
But also on stage, there's another actor essentially. But this is a real-life concert. This is not like green screen or anything, is it? This is exactly where the film is set, and it's a real-life concert.
Yes, and Salika Shyamalan, Knight's daughter, she plays Lady Raven, and she does the concert.
Oh.
And she's a fantastic singer-songwriter herself.
Talented,
She does more R&B work in her own her own releases, but it's Lady Raven. It's more pop.
Wow.
And yeah, it was a real concert. There were thousands of extras there, and they all had been given the concert or given the CD beforehand, so they knew CD. How old am I? They were given the music beforehand. Yeah, no, they were given the 8-track, and somebody had to run. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so anyway, yeah, I'm old. That was the point of that.
Streaming, we call it streaming.
But you know what? We think you probably got big dad points because you took your daughters to see Taylor Swift, didn't you, on the Eras tour?
How could I not?
Oh, well, so did JJ,
I got some points on the board too. I got some good points on the board, yeah.
I mean, there were 89,000 people there.
Insane.
Feels like.
Yeah.
And there were how many concerts? It seems like a lot of dads.
Tons.
There's been a lot. There's been a lot.
Yeah.
So brilliant. Did you go, Alan?
I'm the only person in the world who's not seen Taylor
Well,
Swift.
she's back in August.
Is she?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe I'll give her a go.
Although she came to see you, I hear.
Yes, she did. She came to see me. She came to see me when I was in Cabaret on Broadway the last time, and and I was furious actually because they brought her in through the stage door. The company manager was a big Taylor fan, and I was like, "Why are we not going? What's happened? You know, the pre-show and everyone."
Yeah.
Kind of the mood was killed, and then she came in, and I remember thinking, "What's going on?" And she came in, she stood right there, but I was about to go on. I was like, "What the hell's Taylor Swift doing backstage here?" She's like, "Hi." I was like, "Hi." And then she went in, and everybody was like quiet, and so the mood of the show was kind of a bit lost at the beginning, so I was kind of furious. And then, of course, afterwards, she was like the nicest person in the world. I was also furious. She was so gorgeous. And when she saw my husband, and she said to him, "You must be so proud," like I was his child. But it was she could not be more charming. And also, she's tall, and he's really tall. And so he said it's one of the first times he was looking into the eyes of someone as he spoke to them in my dressing room.
Well, you can watch Trapped in cinemas from the 9th of August.
OK, we have had loads of messages in. Sarah says, absolutely love you in Black Hawk Down and Pearl Harbor.
Sarah says, absolutely loved him in Black Hawk Down, Pearl Harbor. You just said that.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's all we've got time for tonight. Thank you to our guests.
We'll be back tomorrow and we'll be joined by Daley Thompson, Will Kirk and actors Naomi Harris and Darcy Ewart. Have a lovely evening.
Good night.
Bye-bye. You're tiny.